Over the past year, I have used the Scuf Envision Pro controller every day, each day for multiple hours. How has it held up? At least from personal experience, my controller has aged like fine wine. I have had no complaints about the build quality of this controller for the past year of me using it. The only thing that I will say is that the texture on the grip right here on the back has kind of rubbed off a little bit, and there's a little bit of discoloration, but that could be because I got the lighter color model, the white model, so it is easier for it to appear dirty. Yeah, by no means have I babied this controller at all. That being said, I do treat my tech well, but other than the two things that I just mentioned, literally this controller feels like it's brand new just out of the box. So for the build quality and for my usage over the past year, it gets a thumbs up from me. So the buttons on the front of the controller are so satisfying to press, resembling that quick, responsive mouse click-like feel. Oh, goodness me, that's kind of like a tongue twister, isn't it now? Resembling that quick, responsive mouse click-like feel. Mouse click-clack mook, how's that type? When pressed, giving it a premium touch. There are two buttons on the side of the controller that you may map to your preferences. So these side buttons right here are in a very comfortable position. When you grip the controller, your fingers naturally go over top of them and cover the buttons, making it really easy for accessibility, and whenever you need to press them, you just need to apply a little bit of pressure, and then you get that nice satisfying click there as well. I will say the only problem that I have had with the buttons in that position is that when your fingers are laying over top of them as you grip the controller, there's some times where I get into tense situations, like whether I'm playing Call of Duty or Warzone, where I grip the controller a little bit more firmly than usual, and sometimes that does result in accidental button presses, so do keep that in mind. So the D-pad and the thumbsticks I haven't really changed at all on this controller. That being said, the D-pad still does have that quick click-like mouse feel. I don't even know what I said before. Honestly, that took me like 20 takes. Whatever. We're gonna roll with it. But it does have that mouse click-like feel to the D-pad as well, giving it that premium feeling. And then also the sticks. Like I said before, I don't have any stick drift issues at all. And honestly, they're still very buttery and smooth. For when I move them around, so like, you know, no grinding, no like wearing of the plastics or anything like that. They still glide effortlessly, so that's a very good plus. So on the front of the controller at the bottom, it has these G keys right here, and there's 5 of them. And these are 5 programmable buttons that you can map to anything from anywhere between recording clips, starting your streams, changing scenes, muting your mic, and etc. In my use case, I have not really played around with these buttons too much, but it is a very nice feature to have included. So on the bottom of the controller, you have a 3.5mm headphone jack right there to plug in your headphones or your headset, mic, whatever you have. Back on the front really quick, we do have the start and select buttons, as well as a profile switching button here at the bottom. And then right above that, we have the power button or the home button. Actually, I'm not really sure what that is. Yes, I'm reviewing the controller and I don't know what it does. So the bumpers are really nice and responsive. They have that mouse click-like feel that we've been talking about this whole video. And the triggers as well. They could have this little switch. There's a little switch on there right there. You just flip that switch and then it can go to a long press, like a normal trigger press for a normal controller. Or you can go ahead and flip that switch over, and then it will turn into a mouse click. Over the past year, I have been switching that switch and using both kind of settings for those triggers, and the triggers and bumpers have held up very nicely over the past year of usage. So yeah, the back paddles or the back buttons are in a really nice place, so when you grip the controller, they naturally kind of fall in line in that crease right there to where you can press both of them easily without any problems. They've held up really nice as well. Over the past year of usage, everything's been really good. I will say though, the only thing, let me see if I can see these names right here. So the only thing is that my P3 button and my P2 button, so kind of like the ones on the insides, sometimes it's a little bit noticeable, but there's like this little like creaking sound and feeling, I guess, when I press them sometimes. It's not often and it's not a deal breaker, and honestly, for a year's worth of use and kind of abusing these buttons, like slide canceling and like switching guns and like doing the weapon swap and like reloading and stuff like that, honestly, for doing all of that for the past year, I think they've held up phenomenally, and they still don't give me any problems at all. So if we go to the top of the controller right here, we do have our USB-C port for charging and for wired play. And then also on the back right here, we do have a little switch where we can switch the connection between a wired connection or a wireless connection. Now, the wireless connection is actually pretty good. Honestly, that is mainly the way that I play my games. I literally just, I think 70% of the time, I use this controller wirelessly connected to the PC via the USB dongle, or whatever that thing's called. But via that like transmitter, like 70% of the time, I'm using this controller wirelessly. In Call of Duty, I haven't really experienced any issues at all with that, and honestly, I'm really happy that it works that well, because, you know, sometimes like you just kind of want to kick back. The cable is long enough, and it's a very nice long braided USB-C cable, but sometimes, you know, you kind of just don't want to be tethered to anything. That being said, though, I will always recommend that if you want that truly competitive gaming, it's always good to go wired. So the battery life for the controller has actually been pretty good in my experience. I didn't really do like a battery drain test or anything like that, and like sometimes like here and there my schedule's a little bit different for when I play games, but what I will say is that usually like one charge, or after I play a day of games just plugged in, so basically the controller fully charges up while I play games, usually after a full day of that, I can unplug it, play it wirelessly for at least like 2 to 3 days for multiple hours on those days and be completely fine. So battery life, honestly, for me, I have no complaints at all. So for the software side of it, honestly, I have not really used the software that much. There is a way to program the keys without the software. I kind of use the software a little bit, and I tried to change some things, and I don't know if the changes just weren't applied or whatnot, but I just said screw it, and I just did it the manual way without the software. But the software, you can really do a lot of things with that. You can program a lot of the buttons, like whatever functions you want for them. You can program your G keys and have those programmed to like control like your aspects of your streaming, or like, you know, music, muting mics and stuff like that. You have settings to change on your thumbsticks and settings to change on your triggers, as well as the lighting effects. So a lot of stuff there that you can control with the app and the software. Personally, like I said before, I don't really have too much experience with that. I just kind of plugged and played. So yeah, so in my opinion, this controller has definitely stood the test of time, and at least for me, I recommend this controller a lot. It has been my main controller for the past year, and honestly, it still works flawlessly, just like I unboxed it for the first time today. But yeah, honestly, that's all I gotta say. This is the end of the video. If you guys want to subscribe, help a brother out, really appreciate you. Become a part of the community. Black Ops 6 videos, review videos, Call of Duty videos, gaming videos, technology videos. We got it all for you right here. We do. Okay. Thank you all for watching. Hope you guys stay safe. Resembling that quick responsive mouse click-like feel when pressed, giving you a premium touch. I'm sorry if my eyes are going over. I'm looking at my notes.